Question one, question one, question.
Good evening, Bante.
Good evening, Ariana.
Good evening, all Kalyanamita.
Yes,
Should we start now, Bante?
Yes, just to be on the safe side, can we start recording from Zoom inside as well? Normally there's a, I think, time period you can live stream. Yeah, record to the cloud maybe. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we can start now, please.
Thank you, Bante. Good evening, Bante and all Kalyanamita. Namo Buddhaya and Sukhi Hontu. Welcome to Ti-Ratana Vihara Friday Study Discussion by Bante Dr. Ganggoda Wiladima. Today is the day 181 of this series of Sutta discussion, which is the third class of Ambalaṭṭhika Rāhulovāda Sutta. Tonight's topic is wisely reflect before, during, and after you speak. Tonight's class is sponsored by Sister Crystal Yap in memory of Madam Chan Sam. May merits accrue bring good health, safety, peace, abundance, and happiness to you and family. Ambalaṭṭhika Rāhulovāda Sutta is 18th Sutta that have been chosen by Bante Chandima for this Sutta discussion series. If you have missed the previous classes, please check on Ti-Ratana Vihara Amapadana YouTube channel for previous videos. Newcomers are always welcome, so please share about this class with others and whoever that wish to join the class via Zoom where we can engage directly with Bante can contact the Vihara administrator for further information. Friday Sutta discussion is always broadcast live on Ti-Ratana Vihara Facebook channel on every Friday evening, 8:30 till 10 p.m. Kuala Lumpur time. Now let me introduce to you about our speaker, Bante Dr. Garuda Wilachandima, who was the professor of Buddhist philosophy in the Department of Philosophy at Ateneo de Manila University, Philippines. His recent peer-reviewed article, Socrates and Early Buddhist Medical Ethics, Foundation of Moral Reasoning in the Care of the Body and Mind 2025, was published in Buddhi, a journal of ideas and culture of Ateneo de Manila University. Bante also presented his latest research at the annual meeting of the American Academy of Religion, or AAR, in Boston, USA, in a paper titled Custodian Without Ordination, the Gadinanse Tradition and Monastic Succession in 17th Century Sri Lanka. Bante is also the senior advisor to Patisota, a virtual Dharma organization that hosts a weekly online Pali reading class, Sutta discussion, Dharma talks, and variety of other Dharma activities. His Dharma works can be accessed at www.patisota.blogspot.com, and we also can follow Bante at Patisota Facebook account. Without further ado, we welcome once again Bante, and as always, thank you very much for the wonderful guidance and teaching. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Aliana, for the introduction. Good evening, Dhamma friends. Shall we start our Sutta study at this point? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Once again, good evening, Dhamma friends. And today I want to clarify what happened and why we are doing this bit early. I mean, we haven't done that in the past. There was a devotee who passed away during my absence of Malaysia time. And then I couldn't attend the funeral and anything. And they invited me, can you please come and give the 7-day memorial Dhamma talk? It's today. And I was trying to change it, but nothing worked out. And tomorrow I can't even attend the lunch dana because I'm conducting a 1-day workshop at BJF. So that's why it came here. I know Aliana is having some struggle. Aaron is not there. Brother Lim is not there as well to do things. But anyway, I thank you for the patience, and we will do because I don't want to cancel this class too because we canceled 2 weeks already. So we will do the class from now until the Dhamma sharing part 7 o'clock, and we will have a 10 minutes time of Q&A. But our class will be as regular as possible from next week. That means from 8:30, 10 o'clock. It will be same. Okay, so today, do we have newcomers today? Are there newcomers? Or are you all regular? I think most of you are regular. Almost all of you are regular participants. Now, if you look at our last session, I think that happened almost in June. This last session was also about our recently started sutta called Ambalaṭṭhika, Rāhulovāda Sutta, right? And we had an introduction to Ambalaṭṭhika Rāhulovāda Sutta, and then we started studying the first part of the teachings of the sutta. What was the first part of the teaching? The Buddha went to his son monk, Samanera monk place, Venerable Rahula's place, and then the Buddha wanted to give him a very special Dharma talk. And this special Dharma talk is about something that is very essential to all of us. What is it about? Paccavekkhana, right? Paccavekkhana means wise reflection. I think you know wise attention, yoniso manasikara. But wise reflection is something that could be a little bit the extended version of the wise attention, because you cannot reflect anything without attending to the particular matter. So the Buddha taught him that whenever Rahula, you need to reflect wisely when you talk, or before you talk, before you act, during you act, after you act, right? So what did you learn from that teaching that day? Now, before you act in your daily life, you have to reflect. Did you reflect today before you act? Something to ask. Now, from morning to until 6 o'clock time, you were doing a lot of things, right? You were going here and there, you were cooking, you were, doing a lot of things, right? And, you were trying to take care of your loved ones. And then you were trying to take care of your belongings, right? Even paying your premium of your car insurance, home insurance is something, part of the adinna dana viramani, right? You protect your belongings, protect what you have. And you, maybe you may have looked at some other ways to protect your wealth and all that, right? And kamisumichachara viramani, you were protecting your marriage relationship. They don't get protected automatically. You have to work on it, right? So, in addition to these three, tiny, little, main, major, anything, any action must be reflected before doing. Were you able to do that today? You know what is the answer. You tell yourself, right? It is, that's why while we are learning all these teaching, we must put into practice. Otherwise, this will be only a subject learning. It's not going to make a lot of sense to all of us, Try to practice. That day we learn, before we act, we must reflect. Is this how to reflect? Actually, the Buddha told us how to reflect. First, we have to reflect. Is this a activity that is going to be beneficial for me, and then beneficial for others, and beneficial to both of
Yes.
me and others. Then when I think like that, before I act, can I do any wrong thing? Can I do any akusala? It's very
No.
difficult, right? It's very difficult. Because always Buddha, because this reflection is not just reflection. Reflection means you have to check whether this is holistically beneficial to me and to others and both of us. Not even that. You also have to check whether this is how much holistic, how much wholesome this to me, to others, and to both of them. So reflection is something you have to bring that. And not even that, at the end we discuss, sometimes you make mistakes. Like, although you know a lot of dhammas, sometimes there may be a situation where you might make a mistake. It's not good to make a mistake. Let's say if it happens, what are you supposed to do? You have to confess to a right person, teacher, or a kalyana mitta. So then when you confess to a teacher, kalyana mitta, like that, what will be the imperative? What will be the motivation in that? Now let's say I meet a teacher, I say that I made a mistake today. So then if I make a mistake tomorrow again, I also go and see him again over. Then the teacher thinks that I'm not really responsible for my actions. Every day come and talk to me. I make a mistake. I make a mistake. Not good, right? That is why it is important to confess. So when you confess one time, you don't want to make it to second time, third time. Of course, in a very difficult situation, it might be, but you take it to yourself. It won't happen again. Another thing that is important to confess is that you purify yourself, your actions, right? Okay, so this is what we discussed, and then we also said before we do any action, we have to reflect whether this is harmful to me, this is harmful to others, this is harmful to both I, me, myself, and then other people. Then I have to again check this is beneficial to me and other people and both of us. That is before. Now you are engaging in the action. What action is this? You are doing a certain activity. Let's say you are posting something on your social media, right? It's an action, right? Now what you should do, you have to check whether you are destroying someone when you are posting that message. How to check? I'm going to post a message now. Will that be harmful to me? Maybe not. But will that be harmful to others? Yes, I should not do that. If I don't see it straight away, will that be harmful to both to me and to other people? So I can make a very good judgment about my social media posting. One simple example. Now think about another example. Let's say you have a problem in your area, right? And you are not taking care of yourself properly, right? And then what will happen? You are not doing the right action. You are doing some other actions. But what if you are going to reflect this way? Is not doing the right necessary things for that particular action harmful to me, harmful to others, harmful to both of us? Okay? When I know that this is harmful, if I'm not, sometimes inactivity can create problems, right? Inactivity, not responding to the things can create problems too, right? There's a very old saying. Who said that actually? An American, I think. The people who are, who are doing the wrong things are not the really the worst people. The people who are watching silently and not commenting that this is bad are the worst people, right? Because they are very silent to the wrong things, right? Bad people are bad all the time. So that's why it is very important to understand, even while you are doing any action, whether this is harmful to me, to others, to both of us. That way. And now you have done the action. So what are you supposed to do as a part of the wise reflection? You have to do a follow-up. Today, now July 17, 6:15 p.m. And if I look at today, my actions from morning up until now, can I really be happy about my actions? Right? Did I really hurt myself? Did I really hurt other people? Did I hurt both of us? Or did I protect myself, others, and both of us? We have to do that reflection to check. Then you are doing the reflection before act, during act, after act. And today, in the same vein, we have come down to the second part of this wise reflection, which is none other than reflect, wisely reflect before you speak, during you speak, or while you speak, and after you speak. What do you think? Will that be very interesting? This is very interesting, right? Sometimes we do a lot of speeches more than actions, right? In today's world. And nowadays, our speech has been limited to more or less to non-verbal communication, still communication. what is that communication speech like? Now, I mean, by today, our communication has been very much limited to non-verbal communication. What is it? Messages, sending messages. Long time ago, SMS. Now nobody sends SMS messages, right? I don't think so. Now, social media messages, right? Maybe. Sometimes almost social media messages. Then, sometimes, I mean, while it is a very important tool for us to engage with our loved ones, family, work, even Kalyana Mitras, we have to be careful. Why? Our speech is only being reflected through words that we type, right? Then in order for me to type a message relevant to my speech that I have in my daily life with somebody, in the absence of that person talking to me in person, then I have to be very careful in drafting, phrasing that message through the social media. Make sense? I talk to somebody eye to eye, person to person, and now I want to send a message. Then I have to be very careful about certain things. What are you supposed to be careful when you're sending a message to someone you know? That's a very good thing. We will start from there to go into this wise reflection through the speech. What are you normally concerned before you sending a message to anybody?
Accurate, is
Huh?
truthful,
Fruitful,
beneficial,
What
timely.
what is number one that we have to be careful when you're sending a message to someone? Because it's a communication thing that we don't use the verbal communication. Our communication has become non-verbal communication, but still a communication in today's world. So what are you more concerned when you're sending a message to someone?
Not
It
harmful.
causes
Genuine message.
Huh?
misunderstanding.
Is it beneficial?
We will listen to one first. Yes. Who said
Not harmful, Bante. Not
non
harmful or hurtful.
not harmful, not hurtful? Okay, and then
Is it beneficial?
beneficial,
Truthful,
Yes.
truthful.
Possible misunderstanding, so you have to write it in a way that when the person reads, they will not get the wrong impression.
That's very important. Clarity of the message, right? Clarity is very important because you are trying to communicate something with somebody. You have to clarify what you want to say, right? That's number one. So we have to first figure out what I am going to say to this person. Then I have to check whether this needs a long message, short message. Sometimes people say very long messages, huh? Even those social media apps cannot digest too long messages, right? So we want to keep the message as short as possible. So my words will be very clear to other person. And then now we are going to check the tone. The tone. Right? What is it? The tone. Sometimes you write a very good message, but it hurts the other person. Why? The way you wrote the message is somewhat impolite. It's clear, but it's impolite. What is one very good example? I think I can take very simple example. Let's say you prepare food for someone in your house. You can say, please go and have your lunch, go and have your dinner. But you also can say, okay, go eat your lunch. You know, the tone, why is like this? This seems to be not good tone today, right? So if you are sending a voice message, and you have to be careful, right? Voice message, not the message with the words on it, right? Tone matters. And at the same time,
Polite message.
yeah,
Polite.
polite, yes, that's what we are talking now. Because not only the clarity that has truthfulness, of course, truthfulness and clarity And tone also matters. The way how you are writing, the words, the wrong. Sometimes people use the wrong choice of words for sending the message, right? Maybe they are sending the message not in the right mind, right? You know why I'm talking this thing? Because nowadays our speech is not like the Buddha's time speech. We use lots of non-verbal communication such as social media messages or whatever other messages. So we have to look at how we communicate to talk about voice reflection. So we were talking clarity, truthfulness, politeness that has tone, and then
Bante, how about last time they had email etiquette, like example, you don't type in caps lock. So even your short messaging or your WhatsApp messages, you don't type in caps lock. And then some people, instead of writing a nice question, they just put question mark. It sounds quite rude. So
can
it
you
depends.
clarify a little bit more?
Example, for the question mark, I've received messages like, actually they're just, it's quite a polite thing, but then they end it with like many question marks.
Yes.
So it may be taken wrongly if you construe it, misconstrue it. So actually it's
perhaps
something you need to learn.
it forces the other person to, right, to look at that matter in a forcible way. And also, you know, sometimes it is very important to be very careful not to use uppercase letters in the West. They feel like it's very strong words, right? Using uppercase a lot, right? It is a very big tone for them. They might think that this somebody who is sending this is strongly emphasizing, even let's say someone is using bad words, they are using it in a very straight, very strong way. So this way, I think we have to study all these things, right? Emailing, think about an email, I think, right? Emailing, I think if you are not emailing that much, even you are messaging. So most of these things are part of the communication. So try to look at what is going on with your communication, non-verbal communication patterns, because it's very important. And when we talk about how Buddha taught Venerable Rahula that you have to reflect before you speak, during you speak, and after you speak, Buddha is mentioning something very interesting. I think it's the same as we learn about the actions. Let's take a look. Now we are here at Vaisura. Go down. Okay. I think we better pick up a blog post, so easy to understand. Here. Wisely reflect before, during, and after you speak. Before, during, after. Now, first of all, may I ask you, is this a very easy work? Easy thing to do? Let's talk about the weight of this action. Is this, I mean, is it very easy for you to reflect before you talk? During you talk or after you talk?
Sometimes
Not
Bante,
easy, not so easy, Bante.
Is that-
Not so easy.
That means at the moment, it has become an optional activity, right? Optional. Not mandatory, compulsory activity in your practice. But if you are a noble disciple, in your practice, you have to do this. That will help you to become a good speaker. Now, in today's world, a good speaker is a public speaker who can say whatever the things that are attracting the people. But in the Buddhist teachings, it is very important to do this.
One thing, there is one thing about joking, right? So I think if it's harmful, you're not supposed to joke, but sometimes jokes can kind of not be so right speech, but it's funny and make, in our
Joke?
socializing, sometimes if we can crack a few jokes, it's helpful.
I think we can become humorous. And I think what is important in that kind of activities, even the joke itself must not harm other people. It's not about the joke. Joke can be something, everybody can be humorous, but that particular joke should not harm you, harm others, harm both of you. Otherwise, I don't think it's a problem, because sometimes, it's very important to break the ice between people, right? I mean, they are moody, they are not happy. I mean, it's good to be friendly with others. So I think there's no problem to be humorous, but don't be sarcastic. Not to be sarcastic, not to use certain things to hurt people by using the jokes. Otherwise, I think common things, there's no harm, but just to create some affinity, friendship, I think it's a very good characteristic. I think not everybody can make a good joke, right? If you see many jokers, they are talking very indecent stuff in today's world. Their jokes are almost indecent stuff, lower grade stuff. But if you can joke in a nice way, not harming anybody, but to create some happiness, that's a good thing. All right, so we will take a look now because of the timing. I think today we have a very short time, so I will pick up the important aspects so you can read later. Reflection before speaking, you can see. The important section here is Kattukamo. Vachaya kamma kattukamo. Kattukamo means now you are about to say something, right? You are about to talk something, you are about to say something. Then paccavekki, you need to reflect. How to reflect before you when you are about to talk something? Yanunang ahang idang vachaya kammang kattukamo idang me vachikamma attabhyadayapi sanmat is going to harm myself. Parabhyadayapi sanvatteya, harm for others. Ubhyabhyadayapi sanvat, harm for both. Now, suppose you are about to talk something after this sutta discussion to someone. What are you supposed to think? You have to think whether this speech going to harm me, harm others, harm both of us. What kind of harm that can happen through the speech? May I know? What could be the harm through a speech?
Get
Bante, can we say hurting others?
Yeah, hurting is one thing, but now you have to tell me the total Buddhist explanation about verbal harm. How to harm someone through our speech? What are the main ways of harming someone through our speech? Hurting is one, yes.
lying, slander, that.
Lying,
Lying,
talking behind the back, that is slandering,
harsh
hurting, using
Gossiping.
harsh words, and oversharing, gossiping, oversharing, or idle chat.
Avoiding,
Now,
divisive.
Harsh bit.
in order for you to be careful about your speech, before you say something, you must know these four thoroughly, completely. Otherwise, what are you going to think about? How are you going to filter out what you want to say with these four frameworks? Right? Now you are going to talk to someone in another 1 hour. The Buddha said you have to check whether what you're going to say is harmful to you, harmful to them, harmful to both of you. So how are you going to check this harm? What are your yardsticks? What are your criteria here? Your criteria here is whether my speech is creating lie or is a lie. Whether I want to say something with that person is a lie or untruthful. Or whether I am going to say divide someone's peace, or whether I'm going to slander with my speech. Whether what I'm going to say is hurting someone. whether I'm going to say is a gossip or idle chatting. You know, a lot of people are saying this sometimes. It is very difficult to practice Dhamma. Why is it? It is because they have not studied the proper way to practice. Now here, it's a very simple teaching, but it takes a lot of courage to practice. Why? Every time before you talk, I'm going to say this to that person today. Is this a lie? Is this dividing somebody? Is this hurting someone? Is this something that I'm oversharing or idle chatting? So now you may think that, okay, it sounds a bit easier, but there is another challenge. What is it? You know what you're going to do before you speak, but there's another challenge that is looming over there. What is it? Energy, courage,
yeah.
effort. You know this is not good, but still you are going to divide someone. Why? No kusala energy with it. That's why the Buddha always says, keep your energies always balanced. Keep your kusala energy. How to create kusala energy? Will the kusala energy be automatic to me? I have to maintain my body and mind, right? I have to. Now think about, you are not someone who is sleeping enough. Then, but you know a lot of Dhamma. And tomorrow morning, you become very irritated, right? Why is it? Is it because of you know a lot of Dhamma? No, you didn't take enough rest for your body. Then tomorrow, you know a lot of Dhamma, even by that time, you're still going to say something wrong to someone. Why? No energy to practice Dhamma. That's why it's very important to keep our effort. Effort is not coming to us automatically. We have to create the effort. In order for you to create effort, you have to prepare for the effort. What kind of preparation? A good sleep, eating properly, some kind of exercise, body-mind balance, emotions. You have to protect it. If you are not doing anything like that, simply learning Dhamma every day, it won't be helpful you to practice. You know a lot of things like Dhamma school students, but in the proper activity, you are not able to practice. So that's why it's very important to have some effort with your Dhamma knowledge at the right time. So what are the 4 things that you have to think about before you speak? Whether my word is a truthful word, whether my words are not dividing others, or whether when I say something, I'm going to create some division among others. Sometimes you just talk to people, you never know what will happen. Why? You are not really wise in your speech. You simply phone someone, you simply send a message, you report it to others. But later what happens? Your message is going to break somebody's relationship. Right? And what about hurting? Are we very conscious about all the cultures in the world? We are not very much aware about all the cultures in the world, right? Sometimes our words are not really good words to other people from other cultures. Right? Right? But for others, it might be different. I think I shared you a very interesting story long time. There was one Sri Lankan man who went to Canada long time ago. And now he's been questioned by the immigration officer, long time, 20 years ago. Now the officer is not happy to give him the visa. What you call upon entry visa. He wants to make sure whether he's going back. So this man was very annoyed by this experience, and whatever he talks to the officer is not understood by the officer himself, and whatever the officer is saying to him, he also cannot understand. So what happened? He became very mad at a certain point of his conversation, he used the word dog. Don't try to connect dots, huh? So the officer thought, okay, this means you have a dog in Sri Lanka. And this is what you are telling me. That means you are going back to Sri Lanka to take care of your dog. And he gave the visa to him. Right? Western people look at dogs differently. And he didn't know what he said. He simply said this word dog. Thought, okay, you have a dog in Sri Lanka. That means you are going back to Sri. You have a very big tie, right? You are going back. That's why people understand words differently. When we communicate, we have to be very careful. That's why we have to check whether we are trying our level best to communicate, to reduce impoliteness. Try to be polite as possible. And oversharing, gossiping, idle chatting. So this way, you are going to make sure before you speak whether my speech includes these four in that way. And then, not only that, not only you have to check that this is harmful or not harmful, but also you have to check whether it is a akusala that you're going to make through speech. Akusalam idang vachi kamma dukkhudayam dukkha vipaka. Is this an unwholesome speech giving rise to dukkha, resulting in dukkha? Now, I think I shared with you even that day, last day, why the Buddha is asking to check harm first, second akusala. Why is it? Why it is important to check whether our now earlier actions, now today's speech, next day will be thoughts, and today's speech. Why the Buddha is asking us to think whether my words are harmful to me, to others, to both of us, and then only think about whether my words are akusala or not. Why akusala is second? Can you think about an educated guess about it? What do you think?
Harm is a grosser, something grosser that we can probably discern, whereas akusala is like more internal. We have to check our intentions.
You know, when you go to a construction site, what they put up as the main notice?
Safety first.
Safety first. They are not worried about the trespassers. Trespassers will be whatever, right? But safety first. That is very important. When you go to a hospital, what are they very concerned about? Health and hygiene, sanitation, sterilization, right? Hospitals must be sterilized as much as possible, right? When you go to a vihara temple, silence, right? Silence is the most important thing for them. So this way, when you go to a certain place, they have their main notice. They have their main priority. When it comes to our activities, our speech, our talk, our thoughts, what is very important to check, number one, is harm. Then you think about kusala, akusala, because you make sure whatever you talk is not harmful to me, others, and both. Actually, when you think about whether this word is harmful to me, definitely you are checking kusala, akusala in a different way, right? Now, what is harmful to me is definitely akusala. It might be some physical activities too. That's why the Buddha is asking, make sure that what you are doing is first harmful or not at the beginning before you check kusala, akusala in that process, right? Now, you don't think this way, you are going to a bunch of gossipers tonight to have a makan. All the 5 gossipers are gossipers. You are also going to be a gossiper. So not harmful to me if I share anything, overshare. That is not the way. You might think Me being another gossiper, joining 4 other gossipers is no harmful to me and to others. But according to Buddha, it says, what is harmful in that is not the people. What is harmful there? What I am going to do is harmful to me and to others. Although they are good people, they are bad people. Okay? Because in Buddhism, Buddha always asks such a thing, the activity itself. When the anger is arising in you, what the Buddha said? Don't think you are getting angry. What did the Buddha say to us? When you are getting angry, what did the Buddha ask you to look at?
There is anger.
Huh?
There is anger. Don't
There
say
is anger, not I am angry. I'm
Yeah.
getting angry.
nonsense.
That's why. That's what the Buddha said. The Buddha is asking us to keep myself as low as possible. Right? So that's why even in this case, let's say you are joining 4 gossipers in a makan place or cafe, coffee shop or somewhere. You don't think that, okay, if I say another gossip to this person, it is not harmful to them. Actually, that is not the harm over there. Harm is your gossiping. Whether they accept or not, you are creating akusala at that point. It is harmful to you and to other people. And then, this way you are checking, and then upon checking reflection, you will get to know that these certain words, they are going to be harmful to me and to others and to others. Both of us. Akusalang, it is akusala. It creates pain, right? At the same time, you also check sometime when you speak, maybe too often, you might see that your speeches, your words are going to be not harmful to you, not harmful to others, not harmful to both of you and others. Also, you notice that they are kusala as well, wholesome. They are creating kusala results. So this is what you are supposed to do with regard to before you are about to say something to someone. Second, while speaking, the same scenario. As you can see, karontena, earlier, kattukama, right? Yeah, kattukamo. Kattukamo means you are willing to speak to someone. You want to talk. But now, here, karonte na, while speaking, also you have to check this same thing, right? Whether it is harmful to me, to you, to others, both, whether it is akusala, and all that. Right? And then the same info. Also, when having spoken, after you talk to someone, also you have to do the same thing, reflection. What is the reflection here? Why is reflection? Check whether what you talk was harmful to you, to others, to both of you and others. Whether it was akusala, kusala. Right? Now, here is something that we have to discuss a bit differently. You can see here the confession part. Eva rupante rāhula vachī kammang sattarivā vinyūsuvā sabrahmachārīsu desetabbaṃ vivaritabbam uttani kātabbam. Now, then Rahula, you should confess it openly to your teacher or wise people and your companions. How to confess? They say tabba. You have to share it. Vivaritappa. You have to clarify it. You have to make it clear to that particular wise person. They say tva vivaritva uttani katva ayating sangvarang apajjata. Having confessed, explained, clarified, made it known, you have to look for something. What is that? Ayating sangvarang. Ayating means future. Ayati means future. Now, what is important here with regard to future discipline? Only when you confess your problem to someone, your speech mistakes or action mistakes in our last session, then only you can discipline yourself for the future. What if you hide by yourself? You hide your mistakes. What will happen to you? There is a chance that you will repeat again, right? All right, and then what happened? When you do that, you will create a lot of kusala results, and piti pamujjena vihareyasi ahoratta sukhi kusalesu dhammesu. Then Rahula rejoice in it, continue training, Dhamma training day and night in wholesome qualities. Ahoratta means day and night. I think now it's very clear that it is very important to check 4 things before you speak, during you speak, after you speak. When you do that, in case you happen to see any mistakes, you need to share, confess to a wise person. And when you share it with a wise person, it will be a motivation for you not to make the mistake again. At the same time, you will happily discipline yourself in your Dhamma training all the time. All the time means day and night. So this is what we are discussing today, but we will take a couple of examples because of the timing. Examples. Before speaking, correcting someone in public, before speaking, you check. Will my words embarrass this person? Could I correct them more kindly or private? Very interesting, right? Am I motivated by compassion or by wanting to prove myself right? Now, may I ask you, are you someone who try to correct people all the time because you think you are right all the time? So then this is for you. Or you think that you want to support other people in their practice. So you want to kindly explain to them that something is not nice, you know. If you are that person, how are you going to do that? Or how you have done it before? Have you done that before? Have you supported someone's practice by sharing, maybe giving a suggestion, something like that? If you have done, how you have done it? Looks like nobody has done, but
by
you would
sharing-
remember. Yes, Aliana?
By sharing some experience, Bante.
Sharing
experience.
experience. Why you want to share the experience with that person?
By
You think
sharing
that
own
person needs some
experience.
discipline?
No, Bante, by sharing own experience sometimes to explain the things or motivate
Okay.
others.
All right. So those stored experiences you had, you think that could help them, right, to become better people, right? Well, I mean, have you ever, let's say you are a wise person. You mind yourself, you are a wise person. You check all these. Have you ever maybe supported another Kalyana Mitta for a specific matter? If you have done, how you have done it? With regard to Dhamma teaching and learning, practice.
Right time, Bante, and conditions.
Yeah, I mean, have you done it before? Have you done that before? Has anybody done that to another Kalyana Mitta? It might be meditation, it might be chanting, it might be the practice.
Yes, Bante. I actually a friend told me that she's so bored with meditation now because she meditates a lot. So I told her, why don't you try something else? You change, maybe you go out to retreat in a group to the temple. You meditate in a group instead of doing it at home solo. Try something different.
Interesting. I think you gave another answer. One of the friends told you that she's bored of the meditation, and you said she meditated too long, right? Too much. Yes, one thing is that we should not overdo anything. We should not overdo chanting, overdo Dhamma learning, overdo meditation, right? And as a Kalyana Mitta, you suggested, why don't you try something different? That is a good suggestion, right? But when you say that, be careful because some people take it wrong, right? Only when they really share it, when they wanted to get something from you, you give the advice in a very careful manner. Some people take things very wrongly right away. So that's why when you say something to those people, when they want your help, make sure whether what I say will be a part of lying or dividing their practice, hurting them, or gossip. This is one small example with regard to what you call before you talk, right? Let's take another one with regard to while you are speaking. Examples of wise reflection while speaking. During a heated discussion while speaking, now we assume that there is a heated discussion between two people. One person also raising the voice, the other person also raising the voice. It's a very heated time. Something has gone wrong somewhere in that conversation. But anyway, now you are someone who's supposed to talk while speaking. Am I raising my voice unnecessarily? Do you raise your voice sometime? We try to lower our voice, right? We don't want to raise our voice. So in order for us to lower the voice, we have a lot to do, right? Why people raise their voice? What are the reasons why people raise their voice?
Angry,
It's
Bante.
anger.
Anger. Yes, of course, anger. I mean, I'm asking the bigger reason.
Agitated, want to put the point forth, put their reason forth.
Maybe another bigger reason, the bigger reason,
Disagreement.
take back the control. Take back the control of that subject. Through anger, frustration, whatever, they want to take back, reclaim their power in that particular activity, right? When things are going happily, why should I raise my voice? But when somebody feels that I'm very insulted, now I want to take back my power in this conversation. Take the last word. And
Difference
some
of
people-
opinion.
Yeah, disagreements, anything. So they raise their voice. But as a Dhamma practitioner, what matters in the conversation is how to talk. Not that you make a mistake in the conversation, now you try to raise your voice. Actually, when you raise your voice, if the other person is 2 times more angry than you, what will happen to his voice or her voice? She will increase her voice 2 times higher than you. Maybe 3 times higher than you. Where is the happiness now? There's no happiness. That's why this retaliation is not always going to work out for us. That's why the Buddha teaches us, don't bring the conversations to a point that you raise your voice. We can raise our voice. Of course, it's very easy. But let us create a situation, our life, where we don't have to raise our voice and we associate people who know our character. When you associate people who know your character, do you have to make an effort to take back your control? I don't think so.
You don't have to.
You don't have to. When you associate the people who don't understand you, always you have to raise your voice. But you like something about them, but not like-minded people. No Kalyana Mitta, no Sappurisa, no Pandita. Then we raise our voice and they also raise their voice. right? And finally, everybody raised the voice. It is becoming a place of fish market, right? Right? Everybody is looking for their deal at the end, right? That's why the Buddha says, try to de-escalate. Don't go to that level. Don't go to the level of that kind of a bad conversation, right? If you go past that place, you don't know where you're heading after that. Now, in this situation, the same situation you can see here. Am I raising my voice? Is my speech becoming harsh or insulting? Should I slow down? Yes, you have to slow down and look at a better solution in that particular speech. Okay, this is one example during the speech. After examples of wise reflection after speaking. Family conversation. It could be husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, siblings, mother, father, children, right? Any setup. Did my words strengthen our relationship? Sometimes when you talk to your parents, you have to be very careful because they don't read between the lines, right? They might take the words as they are, right? And sometimes when you speak to your children, maybe your spouse, you have to be very calm, quiet, as short as possible, and clear when you talk, so you can stop unnecessary conversations, right? Did I listen carefully? That is also a very interesting virtue in a conversation. Did I say anything? Now, this is a situation that already happened. Conversation already happened. Now you are checking how you replied, how you responded to them. So this way, wise reflection helps future communication. So this way, try to minimize unnecessary situations, unnecessary hassles through your speech. So what you need to do, reflect wisely before you speak with regard to whether my speech has musavada, parusavacha, sampapalapa, pisunavacha, right? While you are talking to someone, you have to check whether my speech that I'm making now has musavada, pisunavacha, parusavacha, sampapalapa. After you finish your talk in your bed just before you sleep, now tomorrow is a good day, positive day, you check tomorrow, today is a bad day. I don't want to make it happen again. Bad conversation today. But tomorrow, weekend, Saturday, why should I destroy my day by being the same person? Will my speech be having musavada, parusavacha, pisunavacha, sampapala? Check all the time. That way, and you talk. That way, you are communicating with wise reflection, paccavekkhana. Everybody will like you, and you will like yourself. The greatest relationship that we are creating in the Buddhist teaching is the relationship we are creating individually with us. If you cannot create that relationship with you, you will never be able to create a better relationship with anybody else in your family, anybody else. So this is a very interesting support for us to check our speech earlier, our actions. All right, so now we will take another 10 minutes for any questions if you have with regard to today. If you have a question, please raise your virtual hand and then I will let you speak. Yes.
Bante,
Yes, Hema. Please.
Bante, I'm curious to know why is confession or admission of any error with the person that is involved directly than to confess to the, I mean, it's good to confess to the teacher. I think the priority is to confess to the person that you have offended,
Very interesting point.
to ask for forgiveness, and then it will give you peace of mind.
Well, here's the thing. Now, let's say you have offended someone.
Mm.
If you are a very good person, you may apologize to that person right away. But sometimes maybe you had an oversight about the event. You could not apologize. Now that person also thinking bad about you. Things are happening like that. Of course, you can apologize. But let's say there are a lot of things that are happening in our daily life that other people think that they were, you know, what do you call, insulted and they were offended by us sometimes in their own way. So while you are apologizing, you also need to communicate with the teacher to get some motivation to stop it. On one side, you should get a better training to stop this hurting activity. On the other side, you have to apologize on the spot for the offense you are making. I think both are important.
Both, and then
It depends on how many mistakes you are making. If you are someone who is making a very rare mistake of hurting someone, of course you can apologize. But if you are someone who is consistently offending people, then you must see a teacher also, because then why this is happening to me? Why you apologize, but again you are doing the same thing? I think somebody, a wise person, must guide you also at that point. So you on this side you are minimizing it. On the other hand, you are, as a good person, apologizing.
so both sides.
Both are important.
Yeah.
Also, sometimes some people who were offended are not willing to forgive you. That is a problem. Then, although you apologize, they don't want to forgive you. That is why it is very important to meet a teacher and confess and get a right advice. At least you are not doing the same thing to someone in the future. Teacher will be your motivation at that point. Also, you may find another way to approach that person too.
Thank
Alright.
you, Bante.
And then we got yes, who is the next? We got a question from chat. And yeah, please go ahead. We have somebody who has raised the virtual hand. I cannot say your name actually.
Thank you very much, Bante, for this very clear
your name?
advice.
Your
My
name?
name is Lillian.
Lillian. Okay. Yes.
Thank
please
you
go
very
ahead.
much, Bante,
Yes.
for this very clear advice. I do, however, seek more advice for the matter, for a specific issue, yeah, that I think happens not just to me, but also to many of us humans. That in the fact that, for example, I have witnessed a scene where one of the precepts, for example, lying, has been conducted, right? And I know that based on what Bante has shared with us just now, that it is not harmful to me because I did not conduct that sin. But I know that I needed to inform the person of that conduct. So, but I know it's going to be harmful and difficult. The conversation is going to be difficult. So in the sense that I'm not doing harm to myself, but I know I'm going to harm the other person. So also then it will be like a 50% harming to both parties. How would Bante, I seek your advice on this, Bante, how would I address this matter? Do I say full stop to myself and not inform the other person not to do it again? Or I know that it's been done, you have done this, and it's not good, and it should not be repeated? Or what? Should I just tell myself, okay, Lillian, back away?
Okay. Interesting.
Thank you, Bante.
Yes, what I can say is, because I don't know the real story behind this offense or whatever, but what I can say is that if possible, ideally speaking, it is better not to harm even 50-50. It is better to be on the safe side. But I don't know how serious is the thing that is going on between you and somebody like that. I think try to find a better solution, wiser solution, even not to harm 50 that way. So think that what could be the least harmful way to behave or talk to that person, right? Depending on that particular case that you are going through. Then I think you will find the wise reflection that Buddha is talking here. All right, and we
Yeah,
take
thank
only
you.
one.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Bhante. I think the most important component of what your answer was, find the least harmful method.
Yes.
Thank you
Least-
very much, Bhante. Thank you.
Okay, great. And we will take one more question and we will go to the end of the discussion. What if we have hurt someone without realizing? Okay, for you, you have a kind of immunity for that, but who knows? What do you mean by without realizing? Maybe you were not mindful about it, but you still hurt that person. And there are people who might say, I actually don't know what I talked to that person, but in the end, I hurt that person. Whose problem is that? My problem. I was not mindful about it. But you are asking the karma part, right? Exactly. And you're asking the karma part. If you're asking me the karma part, if you were not conscious about what happened, yes, you have a kind of immunity of the action, but don't take it as a free pass to do it again. Now you know it is bad and you realize it's bad, and always try to be wise when you talk. I don't know what kind of hurt also. Is this speech, action, or thought? Next time you check what you are going to talk during, before, during, after. What you're going to act before, during, after. So is the thought. So that way you create a very harmonious situation for both you and that person. But if you're asking karma, if you know that, if you say that you didn't know, then you have a karmic immunity for that particular thing. But as in the example of one of wise reflection before speaking, what if one already done as in the list, but still the other end felt, you mean the other person felt offended? What should we do? That means you have not properly done, including that person. Now, say for instance, you are checking whether what you are talking is hurting the other person or not. Okay. It's a third aspect of the good speech, right? No hurting. But you could not really understand how that person thinks about that subject. Maybe his culture, her culture, whatever. Then that person got offended. So what I can say is that you try to speak in a way that is the least harmful to the other person. Try your level best. If you cannot find out the way how to talk like that, better you don't talk to that person, because the other person is still getting offended. Maybe you can check with that person earlier, or even maybe during the time, how do you look at this particular case situation? Then you will know how that person understands, perceives the particular event. I think that way you can do certain approaches to check whether you can minimize the other person being offended. There are ways to do. All right. I think with that, let us go to the end of our Sutta discussion. Once again, I want to recap. Today, we were looking at a very interesting aspect of wise reflection speech, and we were learning and discussing. Now you are going to practice it on the spot. That means before you talk, during you talk, after you talk, please bring the Buddha's teachings. The Buddha's teachings here is that check whether you are talking is a part of Musavada, Visunavacha, Parusavacha, Sampapala. Musavada means lying, Visunavacha means slandering or talking behind the back, Parusavacha means hurtful, harsh speech, or Sampapalapa means oversharing or idle chatting. then what are you supposed to do? Every time you talk, before, during, after, try to bring the truth to the conversation, into the conversation. Speak. Try to bring harmony, unity into your communication. Always try to talk in a way everybody's getting connected in a nice, ethical way. And try to speak in a way that is very kind, polite, and gentle, as gentle as possible. And try to talk as ethically meaningful as possible, so you are not oversharing. So this way, the Buddha asks us, in this case, Venerable Rahula, to make sure that you are wisely reflecting your actions and today's speech. And next day, we are going to talk about how the mind, how the thoughts have to be channeled for the wise reflection. So may all the good karmas that we've been making today by learning wise reflection for the speech be transferred to all departed ones who passed away. In the name of all of us, may they be well and happy. And today I want to mention today's sponsorship. Today, our Sutta discussion is greatly sponsored by Sister Crystal Yap, and she wants to give good karmas to Madam Chan Sam. And let us keep Madam Chan Sam in our prayers here. May all the good karmas be with her. At the same time, with other departed ones, may they be well and happy. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idam me yatinam hotu sukita huntu nyateyu. Idam me yatinam hotu sukita huntu nyateyu. Idam me yatinam hotu sukita huntu nyateyu. May Devanaga Mahidika receive all these good karmas. May they be well and happy. May they protect and bless all of us for good health, quality of life, prosperity, safety, and happiness. In particular, Sister Crystalia and her family as well. Ettavata cha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavata cha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavata cha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasattha ca Bhummattha Devanaga Mahindika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakkhanthu Sasanang. Akasattha ca Bhummattha Devanaga Mahindika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakkhanthu Desanang. Akasattha ca Bhummattha Devanaga Mahindika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakkhanthu Mang Parang Chirang Rakkhanthu Tvam Sada. This is our Dhamma wish. May we always be surrounded with Kalyana Mitas. Imina Punya Kammena Mami Bala Samagamu Satang Samagamu Hotu Yavanibbana Patya. Finally, may all the good karmas be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana siddhis niccang vaddha pachayino chattaru dhamma vaddhanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminati samikshatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. With those blessings, wishing you a pleasant good night and a happy weekend. And let's see each other again on Friday.
Thank you, Bante.
Night, everyone.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Bante.
Thank you,
Bante.
Bante.
Lawrence,
Sadhu, Bante.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sadhu,
Liana
sadhu,
and
sadhu.
everyone. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Sadhu Bante. Thank you, Bante.
Thank you, Bante.
Sadhu, sadhu. Oh, brother and sister, bye bye. Have a good
Ya,
week.
Terwan Sarana Bante.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aliana. Thank you.
Bye, Alena.
Bye, sister. Thank you, sister.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Aliana.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, brother and sister.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.